Hello! Welcome to this week's video. For this week, I'm doing my wrap-up for the month of August. These are the not apparently a great reading month, now that I notice. Yeah, there's not one keeper here. I DNF'd pretty much every single book here. I didn't realize that. Okay, let's get into it. So we'll start with my first DNF, which was Flaubert's Madame Bovary. Now, I tried, y'all. I tried. But this hoe was insufferable. Oh my god. I mean, she was just not happy about anything. And it wasn't like, okay, I've read like things here and there about how she is like the archetype for basically like how her dissatisfaction represented all women's dissatisfaction of the era, and how the story like still speaks today with women wanting more for themselves and wanting not being satisfied with the lives that they have, and this imploring them and giving them the drive to like go after what they want. And no, because this bitch, regardless of what she wanted, when she got it, she would complain and wish for what she had given up. Like, she was, she grew up, and then I think they put her in, they were going to put her in a convent, or she wanted to go into a convent. And so she was so, like, enamored of the idea of, like, going into a convent and, like, living that life. And then she didn't want to be in a convent anymore. And then she met the hero and decided that she was going to marry the hero because he was the most fascinating thing. And, like, he was, like, everything that she wanted, and that he wanted her. And then she marries the hero, or the dude. I don't know if he wasn't any great prize, but throughout this book, he clearly adored her. And as soon as, like, she's married, she's like, oh, I thought married life was going to be different. Life at the convent was so much more exciting. And then, like, I just couldn't handle her. I couldn't handle her stupid, the grass is always greener as a person. That's her. I just, no. And so, like, I skimmed the rest, and apparently she gets involved in an affair with a dude, because of course that's the most exciting thing now, because that's new shiny thing. I'm so excited. I don't have my own, like, boring life anymore. And then I'm sure she got satisfied with that. I didn't read that far. Again, I told you, I just skimmed the rest, because I wanted to know what happened to her. And she dies. So, good riddance, I say, because now her husband is free to probably go and find somebody who is not a fickle head case. Because she was not the representative of the dissatisfied woman. No, she was a fickle shrew who was not trying to drive for a happy life, because she didn't know what that looked like. Because every time she strove towards something that she thought would make her happy, she would complain and want the other life that she had. So I could not with her. So I tried and I just, no, no, I think what did I make it to? I made it to page 67. To page 67, and then I just skimmed the rest because I could not stand her. She was just insufferable. So this classic, not even in the running for my favorite. No, no. The the order is still Jane Eyre, um, Ruth, and we're still looking for number three. We're still looking for number three. So no. Then we had The Bartender's Secret by Carol Carson. This one I just gave up on because it was just so slow. It's a Harlequin special edition, which those are usually more emotionally powerful. And it took forever for the hero and heroine to even meet, in the sense of, like, she goes to his bar and he notices her and he's like fascinated by her and everything, but for them to actually like have a conversation isn't until chapter like 3 or 4, I think. And in a Harlequin, you don't have a lot of time to tell this romance. And it just moved too slow. And just even like when they did have the conversation, it was just it just wasn't doing it for me. Just no. And they spent more time when they had like scenes together, they weren't scenes of like them together like alone. They would like be talking to each other with like crowds of people around because she was a teacher. And um, one of the students, I think, was his niece, I think. And so yeah, there was just there was not much time with the two of them to develop the romance. It just took forever. So I just DNF'd it. We are never, ever, 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 ever getting back together. I have officially broken up with Charlotte Vale Allen. We remember the what the fuckery that was Night Magic, right? We remember that. But I thought, I like her plots, so let's give her another chance. Nope. Somebody's Baby is a story of Snow Devane. What the fuck? But who finds out at her mother's deathbed confession that she was actually kidnapped as a baby. And that her mother, not so much her mother. Okay. Then we spend at least half of the book, at least half, with her best friend, ha ha ha, Katie, by her side, helping her pursue the truth and find her real family and blah blah blah. Half of that is spent trying to track down her mother's tax returns. Half of the book. That's what it felt like. It dragged. But I was like, okay. I was still like, I was still willing to give it a chance. But now I've learned that apparently in every Charlotte Vale Allen book, there's a moment. There's a moment that makes you sort of go, hold up. What? I'm going to read you that moment when I decided to pretty much DNF this book. I skimmed a little bit just to get to the point where she does meet her biological mother. And let me tell you, the biological mother, what was her name? Pam? Patricia? Patty? I'm not seeing it. But the biological mother is pretty much the only likable character in this book. The only character I even remotely liked. Because I started off liking Snow Devane and Katie. And then this happened. I'm going to read it. It's about a page and a bit. Right in the middle of the shoot, I suddenly got a fix on why she did it, Katie. I'm lost. Why, who did what? My mother. I know why she did it. Snow was flushed, excited. Tell me, Katie said, at once caught up in Snow's excitement. It's so obvious, Snow declared, suddenly brimming with a strange energy. I knew that woman, Katie, and she always got what she wanted. If she wanted a black Buick with red upholstery, then the salesman had better be able to deliver, or she'd take her business somewhere else. If she wanted navy suede shoes with pointed toes and a 3-inch heel, she wouldn't settle for anything less. Okay, so somewhere along the line she found out that she couldn't become pregnant, and wanting a baby turned into an obsession. 30 years ago, no way could a single woman adopt a child, and unless she married a man who already had kids, which I categorically do not believe she could have carried off, given her aversion or whatever toward men, that left her 2 options. Either buy a baby or steal one. And when that didn't, and I'd be willing to bet any amount she tried first to buy one, and when that didn't work, she went out and stole one. It works for me, Katie said. You seem really psyched. I am. I can deal with this as long as I've got reasons. Maybe I'm conning myself, but I don't think so. The thing is, Katie, it makes sense. I know it's taken me a while to get to what's basically a pretty simple theory. I added but it all clicked into place for me shooting Jonathan. I suddenly understood how she felt. He was something, wasn't he? I'd be tempted to steal a kid like that myself. Katie says this. I actually thought about it for a minute or two, Snow confessed, then emitted a laugh. Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, her discovery that the reason her mother kidnapped her was because she wanted a baby, and her mother was always obsessed with getting what she wanted. You already knew that. You were raised by this woman. Why was this some kind of big-ass revelation? And she understood? Okay, I want $1 million. I'm gonna go rob a bank because I really, really want $1 million, and I'm the kind of person who always fights to get what I want. I really, really want it. So, there's my reason. You understand that, right? That's totally okay. So, that was the one. What? And then the final was the best friend making a joke about kidnapping a baby. She and the heroine, Snow, work in a photo studio. So they were photographing this really cute kid named Jonathan. So Katie makes that comment. Listen, I work retail in the evil day job. We see adorable children all the time. I will sometimes make a joke. Like, oh my god. Even like what I say is, oh my god, he makes me want one. A baby. Which, in actual, practical, real life, no, I don't. I don't. I like my time. I'm very, you know, I like having my freedom and all that. I love children, other people's children. I play with my nieces and my nephews, and then I give them back to their mothers. But yeah, I see cute kids all the time. And I could even like imagine myself saying like, "Oh my god, let me to the mother like, "Oh, I could take him home. I could take him home with me. He's so adorable." However, if I found out that my best friend had been kidnapped as a baby, no way in the Sam goddamn Hewen would I ever make that joke. Ever! And what's worse, Snow reciprocates that joke. The kidnapped baby herself thinks it's funny. I actually thought about it for a minute or two, Snow confessed, then emitted a laugh. If I had been kidnapped as a baby, which to be fair, I used to think I had been, because I don't know why, no way in the goddamn Sam Hewen would I ever make that joke if I myself had been kidnapped as a baby. No! It's the same sort of moment as when in Night Magic, when What's-Her-Face's father leaves that letter telling her that she, as a 16, 17-year-old girl, could not find a better husband than this 32-year-old reclusive, scarred man, and that her father, in the letter, tells her that he approves. That was that same moment for me. That was this. That was this moment. Oh no. 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 So I skimmed a little bit just because I was curious about the moment where she would finally meet her mother. Her mother is the only. Well, I liked the old guy. Rudy? Was his name Rudy? The old guy who kind of helped. Yeah, who kind of helped the mother sometimes. The mother sometimes, and kind of helped also raise Snow. Yeah, him and the biological mother were the only non-trash humans in this book. I, so yeah. Yeah, me and Charlotte Vale Allen, we're done. We're done. I can't. I can't with her anymore. Just no. No. So those were every single book that I read in August and DNF'd. I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't realize that. So what am I reading right now? I was going to start The Beast by J.R. Ward, because it's the next book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood for me that I haven't read yet. And my manager at work has started the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. She's reading Dark Lover, the first book. And so just hearing her talk about it and how much she's enjoying it made me want to go into my TBR mountain there and get The Beast and read that. But then my sister E messaged me about this book that she was enjoying. And it's called Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. And just the way that like she was talking about it, like made me want to read it. So She asked me if I wanted to read it, and I said, sure, because it's not like I have anything else waiting for me. You can't see it, but it's off the screen, but you know those piles are there. Um, Not like to have anything else waiting for me to read. So I'm reading this now. I am almost halfway, not quite. I'm about a third of the way in. Quite enjoying it. It's, I guess I'll read the back blurb for you because we're not going to do a book haul for it because it's not my book. Police Chief Nash Morgan is known for two things: being a good guy and the way his uniform accentuates his butt. 2 bullets put a dent in that southern charm, but thankfully spared his spectacular rear end. He's got his hands full with the man who shot him still on the loose, healing wounds, and citizens that think of the law as more of a guideline. Throw in the gloomy mood that clings to him, and the last thing he needs is a smart-mouthed, gorgeous new neighbor making him feel things he doesn't have the energy to feel. Lena Solavita has her reasons for being in town. She's on a mission, and the fewer people that find out about it, the better. She does her best work alone, and as soon as she finds what she's after, she's hitting the road for the next solo adventure. Too bad the town of Knock 'em Out has other ideas. Soon Lena finds herself sucked into small-town life. Dog-sitting, saying yes to a bridesmaid's dress, listening to the sexy AF chief of police service himself in the shower. But when Nash finds out why she's there, flirty friends become furious enemies. The sparks flying don't know the difference between lust and hate. When danger forces them together, it's only a matter of time before they both get burned. So right now, they're still in the flirty friend stage. And I'm really enjoying this so far. I haven't read the first one. But yeah, I'm really quite enjoying it so far. And yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this one. So that's what I'm reading. That's my Take to Work book. My classic, I'm trying it again. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I'm not, again, I am also, it's kind of like a third in. And in case you don't know, random dude picks up boy, brings him home. Boy is very poor and feral and doesn't know how to society. He and the dad's daughter Kathy become very, very close. Very, very close. And but there is a like she has feelings for Heathcliff, but he doesn't know how to society. So she's like, well, clearly I have to society. So I have to, marry this dude, Linton. And I can't be with Heathcliff because society expectations. So Heathcliff, after a horrible moment where the piece of shit brother, Kathy's brother, who has treated Heathcliff horribly after the father dies, the brother gets married, has a baby, the wife dies, he gets drunker than normal, and he almost kills the baby, not intentionally, but I think he kind of like drops the baby, and Heathcliff saves the baby's life. But there's such hatred between the two of them that Heathcliff leaves and decides that he's going to go and become a society man. So now Heathcliff is back, and he is rich and is a society man, and Kathy, unfortunately, is now married to Linton. And Linton's sister Isabella is doing a little sniffy around Heathcliff. Understandable. Especially if we're talking about the Tom Hardy version. and the Laurence Olivier version, because, whoo lordy, oh yes, those are my favorite versions of Wuthering Heights. The 1939 version with Merle Oberon and Laurence Olivier, and the 2000s version, I think it was, with Tom Hardy and Charlotte Riley. So yeah, that's where we sort of are right now, and Isabella's sniffing around Heathcliff, and Kathy is in the book version. Kathy doesn't seem so much like a jealous shrew yet. She's more like, girl, you could not handle Heathcliff. He's too much for you. Stay away, Isabella, stay away. She's just kind of like amused by Isabella trying to sniff around Heathcliff. In the movie, I especially remember Merle Oberon losing her mind at the idea of Isabella going after Heathcliff. I remember that. They cannot marry. They must not marry. And she looked like this crazy woman. I remember that. I don't know if she's gonna get to that point later on when Heathcliff starts to reciprocate Isabella's feelings, because he doesn't. He doesn't. But yeah, that's sort of where we are right now. And yes, it is sort of told by the housekeeper, nanny, Nellie point of view, but we're still in Heathcliff and Kathy's story. We're still experiencing sort of what's going on with them. It's different than when I was reading The Great Gatsby, where it was all about Nick Carraway, and Gatsby and Daisy were just kind of referred to as a subplot. That's not the case here. Nellie is very much sort of in in the story, but not it's not about her. It's not her going up, we're not in events of her life. We're in events of Kathy and Heathcliff, if that makes sense. So I think the sort of third narrator kind of thing works better here than it did in The Great Gatsby. Miles better. So this one is shaping up to be my number 3 classic. We shall see how the rest of it goes. I will say it's a little bit confusing when they initially do the flashbacks, present day, flashbacks, present day things, jumps. Because there's no there's no indicator to tell you that oh, okay, you're in the past now. You have to read, and once you get into it a little bit, then you figure out, oh, okay, this is the present now. And it's oh, okay, well, one way to know that we're in the past is because Kathy. If Kathy is walking around doing things, we're clearly in the past. Because, it's Wuthering Heights. I don't know if you don't know what happens, but if Kathy's walking around, we're in the past. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying it so far, and yeah, we'll sort of see how that goes. In audio, I did not have an audiobook that I liked in August, so there's no wrap up for that. But I'm currently listening to Resistance Women by Jennifer Chiaverini. Chiaverini. But yeah, I'm quite liking that. It's definitely it's slow, as in you don't automatically get these women coming together and you know somehow being part of the resistance that's going to fight against Hitler. You don't get that right away. It's uh I think I'm like halfway through, and the World War II hasn't started yet. It's more of their sort of like individual stories as Hitler rises to power, and them realizing, holy, this is actually happening. Like, you actually see the Jews beginning to not maybe be able to do so much this stuff, and maybe losing a business, or maybe uh people talking and they're about stuff they're not supposed to be talking about, and so they disappear. And it's a very slow sort of thing. And like, oh my god, Hitler will never be chancellor. Like, what are you talking about? Oh my god, Hitler's now chancellor. Oh my god, Hitler, nobody will ever vote for Hitler to be the the I'm not sure what the word is, but to rule Germany or whatever. Like, and then it's like, oh my god, Hitler won the vote. Like, how? And it's sort of like that slow kind of progression of the realization that Germany has lost its fucking mind. So at the point right now, a lot of people are trying to leave. Like, a lot of people are trying to, like, if this shit, I'm out. So that is where we sort of are right now. Um, we have Mildred, who is an American, who is married to a German, Arvid. I think they're my favorite right now. Just, they are so sweet together. I love them so, so much. And she has lost her job because she's an American, and has ideas about freedom and like freedom of expression and freedom of, you know. And then we have Greta, Greta, who is in love with a married man, but it's somehow okay because he and his wife have an arrangement, but he can't leave her. He can't leave the wife because then he won't be able to see his daughter. Then we have Sarah, who is Jewish and has married a German, and his mother is not very happy about that. And then we have Martha, who I believe is who I believe is British, and has come to Germany. I think, yeah, I think she comes, and at first is all like excited about, like, visiting Germany and like learning about the German culture and like all the architecture and all that stuff. She's all like hyped to be in Germany, till she realizes that Germany is turning into a bit of a clusterfuck right now. So you got these four women, and I think it's Mildred and Greta who have, no, Mildred and Martha. I know two of the women have met at this point. Um, but yeah, it's really kind of slow going, but I'm fine with it because um, the author Jennifer Chiaverini is doing such a good job of just writing these women's lives as the world starts to go out of its mind around them. So I am quite enjoying that very, very much right now. Yeah, so I think that's going to be it for this week's video. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/authorejamie. Like my Facebook page at facebook.com/authorejamie. And I will talk to you guys next time. No. 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 We're done. We're so done. We are never, ever, ever, ever getting back together.